Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. Today I want to talk and review about House of the Dragon episode 7 of season 2. I just finished it. I uh, definitely wanted to watch it tonight and it was getting a little late, so I was a little bit worried that I would really not enjoy it as much as I would just because I'm tired. But oh my god, I love this episode. I think this is my favorite episode so far. I really enjoyed. Right off the bat, we get a lot of time with Damon and also Oscar Tully, who is kind of the young boy who has stepped up as Lord Paramount of the Rivermen, if I have that title correct. And I really enjoyed that part where they're kind of meeting in front of the railroad tree and they're going back and forth, and there's a lot going on. And finally, the Lord Paramount, Oscar Tully, he's like, if Damon wants us to have our armies kind of support him, then he has to kill the betrayers and those who killed some innocent lives. And so Damon just beheads him. And so he has an army now. And we also get a lot of back and forth between Rhaenyra and Mysaria, who is trying to figure out a way to get more dragon riders, as we discovered last episode. But this episode, we really see this really cool spy network. I really love that scene where we see a note being passed around from many people. I didn't count how many people there were, but I think it was about 12 or 10 people, maybe. But I really loved how on the note it basically said, like, anybody who thinks they can ride a dragon and who has some sort of lineage with a Targaryen, even if you're a bastard, like, come on over. We need dragon riders, and you may die. You most likely will die, but if you want a chance, then come on in. And we get this really great scene where everyone is kind of at the bar being like, yeah, I'm injured, but I can't really do it. Time's a little past for that, but you see everybody is really seriously considering going there. And we see this great scene where everyone gets off the boat and is going up Dragonstone. And we see, like 50 people just coming in. And I really, really loved everything with Rhaenyra this episode and sort of that part of the storyline. And I was pretty happy with myself because I predicted, and I didn't catch the guy's name. I feel really bad, but the guy who ended up being able to uh, become the dragon rider of Vermithorn. Vermithor? I think I said that right, Vermithor. The biggest dragon I think the show has. I think Rhaenyra makes a point about that. But I really love that scene where you think that someone else is going to be a dragon rider, but they're giving this guy a lot of kind of attention. So I wasn't too surprised that he became the dragon rider, but kind of that slow build to that moment was just really great. I loved kind of the on the ground shooting that we had, where the camera was going through and following everybody, and you see people getting burnt alive, people are falling off and getting eaten, picked up. And this is a huge ass dragon, so you really feel the scale in this episode, and I just love that. And everything that happens afterwards with Silver Ring was even better. Well, maybe not better, but it was up there. I really enjoyed that scene where the guy's going through the caves with this torch alone, and he accidentally steps on like a dragon nest and finds a few eggs, and the dragon kind of reveals itself and is like, "What the fuck you doing here, man?" And he's just kind of pushing him with this snout, and I thought that was really funny. I knew right away that he was going to become the dragon rider of Silver Ring once she or he started doing that. I'm not sure what its sex is, but that was just a really fun scene. I just really enjoyed everything with the dragons this episode. And it's also really setting up for the big showdown next episode, because we see Silverwing immediately taking the Dragon Rider to King's Landing, and they're flying around having a joyride, and we see Aemond in the middle of a small council meeting, and they're talking about troops and kind of what to do, against Rhaenyra, and the small council is just kind of, coming up with ideas. And we also have Laris, who is probably one of my favorite kind of side characters in the show, the kind of spy master. He has a really great few scenes about having secrets and stuff like that, but he's talking and Aemon just keeps hearing like, oh, dragon, dragon, like from outside the council room. And so he opens the door and sees this giant dragon, Silverwing, just flying everywhere. And I was so worried. I mean, it's Game of Thrones, kind of. George R. R. Martin is involved, so I was thinking, oh no, what if Silverwing is just shot by one of the crossbows and is killed instantly? Like, wouldn't that fucking suck? And thankfully, that did not happen. I was worried that may happen, but thankfully, we did not have that happen. And Silverwing flies off, goes towards Dragonstone, and Aemon hops on his giant dragon, who's always kind of covered in moss and leaves and stuff, because it's just like sitting in the forest, just kind of sleeping. I think that dragon is quite old with how big he is, but he doesn't listen to Aemon that well and keeps chasing after Silverwing. And Aemon has to force it to kind of go back towards King's Landing. So that was really fun. I was kind of hoping we would get kind of a dragon battle this episode, but now that Rhaenyra has 4 different dragon riders on hand now, we have Adam, who was the guy who I was predicting would become the dragon rider of, God, what's the dragon's name? Not Silverwing, but God, I can't remember its name, but he's the new dragon rider in the beginning of the episode, and there's a great moment between him and Corlys, who is like his, I guess, ship captain. He goes to him and is like, hey, can I be relieved of my duty? And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, you have a dragon now. Like, you've really risen in the ranks. Like, good job. Like, well done. So I think he's quite proud of his apprentice guy, who he was going kind of back and forth this season. Like, you have to, do better and, follow my orders, stop, trying to do more than, you're supposed to. So I really enjoyed that kind of reuniting after he flew in on the dragon. And we get a moment between Rhaenyra and the rest of her council members who are like, there's lowborn should not be allowed to ride these dragons. These are really special beasts. Nobody should just be able to get on and just ride them and, control these dragons. It should be someone from the royal line of Targaryen. And Rhaenyra just is very simply like, we're going to lose this war if we don't do this. So this is kind of the only thing we can do. And I really appreciated Rhaenyra in this episode. I'm not really taking any sides, black versus green, but I thought Rhaenyra really showed her intellect in this episode, because we kind of been going back and forth, kind of tiptoeing around this war this entire season, until about the 5th episode, I believe, is when it really starts getting out of hand. And now we're fully at war now. We're gathering armies, we're getting dragon riders together, and it's just really great. I love that she's finally just doing what she needs to do and just ignoring her council members, because they just have this higher, like, opinion of themselves and also of the dragons that is going to end up killing them and making them lose the war. And her son himself doesn't want her to do this, and doesn't want, these lowborn people to be able to ride the dragons. And she's like, I don't like any of this. I did not want this war. I want this to stop. And he's like, okay, we can stop then. She's like, that's impossible. We have to see this through, because they have my throne, which King Viserys did not name her as the heir to the throne, which has caused everything that has been happening this season. But we also really get a great cameo with him. Paddy, I don't remember his last name, but the guy who played Viserys, he's back again for the 2nd episode this season, or his 2nd appearance in this season, with the last appearance being the last episode, which I loved. And this one was great as well, where he tells Daemon, like, I did not want the throne, I did not want this crown, it feels like every day is just slowly shattering my head with its weight and its weight and responsibilities and all of that. So that was really great. I really loved all these little moments between our characters in this episode. I'm trying to think anything else. I did really like the quick mention of the Night's Watch this episode, where I think it's Damon or somebody, but I guess it's Damon who is putting all the traders to the Night's Watch, and he says it's a mercy, and the character he's talking to kind of gives him like a side eye because he knows, like, you know, it might be better just to be beheaded than serve on the Night's Watch. And I don't remember exactly how the Night's Watch is doing at this time of the series, or at this time of the world of Westeros, but I don't think it's really any better than in the Golden Age, like in the way back in the day, in the history after they've defeated the others and all of that. But that was a fun moment. It was fun seeing people in Night's Watch armor, so that was great. We haven't seen the wall this season. Maybe in the next episode. I doubt it, though. Maybe at the end when they're teasing the next season, which I think they've confirmed is going to be 6 episodes now. So we're kind of seeing each season kind of go down in episode count, which worries me because I'm really enjoying this show. I think this is my favorite show of this year. Three Body Problem had that. I think The Boys is number 2. And Three Body Problems number 3, and this is my number 1. I thought this was just such a great episode. I don't think there's anything else. I'm racking my head, but of course, as I said in the beginning, I'm quite tired, so I want to get this recorded so I could have it out Monday morning, which is when this will be out. So y'all are probably either on Monday or Tuesday if you're watching this. But I really enjoyed this episode. This is probably my favorite episode of the season so far. So yeah, I'm excited for the final episode next Sunday. I have no idea what's going to happen. All I know is that I think there's going to be a huge battle. I recall there being like a really long, like 2 months or something of shooting that they did for this battle for the final episode. So I wonder if that will happen or if I just hallucinated that. But I'm loving this show. I'm so happy that I've been keeping up with it episode by episode, although I did come in a little late with after episode 4 came out. The day that episode 5 came out, I believe, is when I did the HBO subscription. But yeah, this is such a great show. I hope everyone's enjoying it. And if you're still watching, let me know what you think of this episode and let's talk about it. I think I want to talk a lot more about this show than I'm already doing with more people. So if you are still watching and can leave a comment, please do so. I had such a great time making this video, so thank you all so much, and please have a great rest of the day.